Good day, I am William Theo, and this is PTV News Now. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. graces the National Higher Education Day Summit of the Commission on Higher Education, or NHED. The highlight of the summit, NHED Chairman Prospero de Vera's delivery of Ulat, the state of higher education in the country. He gave an in-depth elaboration on the current state of higher education nationwide. Marcos and De Vera also walked through the winning paintings of Pintagumpay, which was displayed at the PICC in Pasay City. The celebration offers opportunities for leaders of higher education institutions to engage and forge stronger partnerships to collectively address issues in the country's education system. The president, on the other hand, seeks to achieve access, quality, and competitiveness at the core of higher education reforms. Meanwhile, protesters clashed with riot police outside the parliament in Georgia. The Georgian parliament approved the divisive foreign influence bill on third and final reading. The bill sparked weeks of mass protests, with critics seeing it as a threat to democratic freedom and the country's aspirations to join the European Union. The bill requires media, non-governmental organizations, and other non-profit entities to register as pursuing the interests of a foreign power if they receive more than 20% of their funding from abroad. The opposition has denounced the bill as the Russian law. Renewed demonstrations have rocked Georgia for weeks, with demonstrators scuffling with police who used tear gas and water cannons to disperse the crowds. Conflict has forced a record number of people around the world towards internal displacement, forced to flee their homes, but still living in their home countries, often in refugee camps. Henry Ridgewell has the report.
In recent months, thousands of people have arrived at the Bulengo camp for internally displaced people near Goma in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. They have fled fighting between the Congolese army and M23 rebel groups. Faida Bauma arrived with her 4 children.
Look at the conditions in which we live. When it rains here, we suffer. Look at where we sleep. When it rains, we have to fold our mattresses. We're going to die here. People are even raped.
Conflict and violence have driven the number of internally displaced people around the world to a new record, according to a new report from the Geneva-based Internal Displacement Monitoring Center. Almost half live in sub-Saharan Africa. Nearly 76 million people globally were forced to flee their homes in 2023 and are living elsewhere in their own countries, many in camps or makeshift accommodation. That's an increase of almost 50% over the past 5 years.
Half of this figure comes from just 5 countries, including Sudan, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Colombia, Yemen, and Syria. And these countries are usually not visible in the media headlines.
Sudan has the largest internally displaced population in the world at more than 9 million people. Most were forced to flee their homes after the latest civil conflict erupted in April 2023.
Many of them have been forced to move multiple times. So we saw families moving away from Khartoum, going to the Darfur regions, moving all across the country. And of course, we are very concerned about their needs and their vulnerabilities, because with each new displacement, their resilience reduces.
Some 4 out of every 5 Palestinians have been forced to flee their homes in the Gaza Strip because of the conflict between Israel and Hamas, according to the report's authors. With borders closed, most have nowhere safe to go.
Recent UN estimates point out to the fact that it will take around 80 years to rebuild everything which had been destroyed in the Gaza Strip. And this shows that it might be that most of the people who are currently living in Gaza and who have been displaced won't see their houses rebuilt during their lifetime.
Close to 8 million internally displaced people were forced to flee because of natural disasters. The February 2023 earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria triggered 4.7 million displacements. Cyclone Freddy, which hit southern Africa in February and March last year, forced 1.4 million people to become displaced. Henry Ridgewell, VOA News.
This is William Theo. Stay informed, get ahead, get the news right here.